Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And I know you're saying, oh, Brad, you just did a John Cena Rant video. You just did another one. And, it's just getting annoying already. Enough with the John Cena videos. We're getting fucking sick and tired of John Cena videos every single fucking day. Well, too fucking bad. Because I rant about what I want on this channel anytime I want. So John Cena, I mean, he's the biggest star in professional wrestling. You can try to spin it as much as you want, as I've said already. This is the fact. The fact remains he's U.S. champ. But, it's almost like that U.S. belt is secretly the world title in disguise, if you know what I'm saying. It's like, it's the same thing. It's almost as if Seth Rollins was really U.S. champ, and it's some weird sort of reverse psychology. It's the New World Order! No, kidding, motherfuckers. No, it's no conspiracy or anything, but, it looks like that. It really does. It looks like, if they swapped the belts, it would be a smooth transition, kind of. John Cena with the U.S. belt, as they said, is completely fucking ridiculous. Why does he need to win this belt? And I talked about it in my last video about the U.S. belt, so I'm not going to talk about that as much. What I want to talk about is him in the world fucking title. Now, Ric Flair won 16 world titles, and those are titles that he had been winning for fucking decades, for over like 30 years of winning titles. And that's how he accumulated the 16 world titles. His last world title was in the 2000s. So, there you go. So he had been winning world titles for fucking decades. Been winning world titles for almost even before I was, before I was born, way before I was born. Born in 87. So Ric Flair had already won like 5 world titles by that point. Now, John Cena has been winning world titles since 2005, since WrestleMania 2005. And the last time he won a world title was in 2014. So, as you could kind of fucking tell, that's not very impressive. Not impressive at all. Just 9 years, in the 9-year time span, the man has won 15 world titles, one short of what Ric Flair had won in almost 30 years. Well, it wasn't quite 30 years, but maybe like we could say 20-something years, or, give or take a little bit. But like over 2 decades, definitely, of winning world titles. So what a man accomplished in not even a decade, it took the guy who, he's trying to beat the record of more than 2 decades to accomplish. Do you know how fucking stupid that fucking looks? Not only does that mean that he's held the belt 15 times, he's lost it 15 times as well. And the shocking thing about this is that John Cena doesn't even lose that much. So I guess all the times when he loses, it is the fucking world title. That's the only time he loses, when it's time for him to fucking give up the belt. But the thing is, 9 years, in 9 years, you've won a title 15 times. I mean, that kind of affects the prestige of the belt a little bit. It really does. I mean, it makes the belt look like a big pile of fucking shit. That it's that easy to win, that the same guy could just keep winning it for 15 times in the span of 9 years. I mean, think about how many other people have not been champion, or haven't had, or who have already been champion and haven't had the opportunity to hold the belt more times because of this fucking goof and denim. I mean, give me a fucking break, for God fucking sakes. This jort-wearing motherfucker has just been all over the place. He's always on every single show. The thing is, this is like supposed to be a good thing. First one there, first one to leave. Big match zone. What a guy. We try to build them up and all that, and no one gives a fucking shit. Nobody cares, that nobody is better than Big Match Joan in a big match situation. Nobody gives a fuck because we all know it's all fake, and the only reason that Cena's winning any of these titles and Cena's winning any of these matches is because the writers are too fucking stupid. And the thing is this, so here I am saying that wrestling is fake in a wrestling video. Well, the thing is, I never said that it was fucking real. But the thing, like I said about it being fake, just like a fucking movie. A movie is fake. A video game is fake. None of that stuff is happening. How come some of that stuff is more realistic than this shit? I mean, the whole point of a movie, a lot of times, I've seen critics criticize movies for them being too far-fetched or for them being too out there, for them not being believable enough, for the characters not being tangible, for, a movie that just, that you can't relate to, that you can't get emotionally invested in. Well, it's the same thing with fucking wrestling. Just like a movie, there's characters in wrestling. Just like a movie, there's action in wrestling. Just like a movie, there's drama in wrestling. There's dialogue in wrestling. It's like a fucking movie! So, it should be judged almost like a movie to some extent. The only difference is that these guys are doing their own fucking stunts in the ring. So, but you can see where cinema and pro wrestling cross paths, and they cross paths a lot of times. So, there's the thing, and the whole point of when you're making a movie, most of the time, even if it is a fantasy, you want to try to make it coherent. You want to try to make it believable. You want to try to make the viewer feel like they're in that world that you've created. Just like with a video game, just like with a movie, just like with a TV show, and just like with fucking wrestling. And John Cena ain't realistic! Basically, what they've done, and I remember way back when reading this on WWE.com, or it was in WWE Magazine, or it was in Raw Magazine, or SmackDown Magazine. Here's the thing about John Cena. I remember them writing an article about this, and I think it was more than once. They said John Cena is a combination of Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold. You might as well line up those three legends, go down the line with an open palm, and slap them all in the fucking face! Because he ain't like anything like those guys. Now, I know what they're saying. He's the face of the company, just like those guys were at one time or another. But the thing is, he is not as good of a wrestler as The Rock or Stone Cold. He is not as good of a talker as any three of those guys. The only thing that he really shares anything in common with is the fact that he kind of wrestles the same style as Hulk Hogan, where, he'll get beat down during a match and come back like fucking out of nowhere. Now, that worked for Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan was awesome. He had the charisma. He was able to carry himself on the mic, even though his in-ring skills were lacking, but he still got it done in the ring, and he still had a lot of classic matches, depending on the opponent he had. But the thing about fucking Hulk Hogan is that he was charismatic and he was larger than life. There's nothing about Cena that's larger than life. He's just a guy with a plain fucking, crew cut, jorts, and that's about it. Fucking sneakers and jorts. That is the only thing that, Cena is. I know you could argue Stone Cold wrestled in black tights, Brad. Stone Cold wrestled in black tights. But Stone Cold was an awesome wrestler. Stone Cold was an awesome talker. So you gotta have one thing or the other. If you suck on the fucking mic, you suck in the ring, and your appearance sucks, then what the fuck is the point of having you around? He looks like shit, he wrestles like shit, and he talks like shit. Cutting promos about Star Wars and Call of Duty and shit. I'm remembering all this fucking bullshit. Making poopy jokes. Oh, how fucking cute. You would never see any The Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan out acting like that. They're not cutting promos about fucking Call of Duty and fucking the shows for 9-year-olds, even though the key demographic is obviously 18 to 34 or 18 to 40. Sometimes I think it differs in some respects, but that's the thing. And we have to stop ignoring the fact that people hate Cena and stop sugarcoating this fucking fact. Stop sugarcoating it up the fucking ass already. Stop coming on TV and having JBL say to the crowd or to the home audience, rather, say, oh, well, he gets a reaction. Nobody gets a reaction like Big Match John. Fuck off. Fucking goddamn sick of hearing that fucking bullshit already. I'm fucking tired of hearing about fucking Big Match John, and now nobody fucking gets a reaction like Big Match John. Big Match John. Big Match John. Fuck Big Match John the fucking ass! Cut a hole in the fucking jorts and stick a big fucking cock through it, motherfuckers. I am sick and tired of them praising Cena for getting a reaction when it's a negative reaction. It ain't even a heel reaction. It's a heat reaction. It's not the type of reaction that Triple H would get. No one's chanting asshole. They're just fucking saying he sucks, and it's because he does suck. Nobody enjoys him being there. Nobody likes him. If nobody likes him, why is he on TV? He's on TV because they're too fucking stubborn. The fact that people have to get so deranged as they're actually happy. They're actually euphoric when John Cena gets injured. Or like what's coming up this coming month in November when he's going to be taking some time off. People are like dancing in the fucking streets. They're fucking partying it up. They're throwing block parties. They're fucking shooting off fireworks and shit like that. I mean, the thing is, it's like I've never seen when someone gets injured or is taking time off, people are fucking celebrating. I mean, the thing is, it's crazy. Doesn't that tell WWE something? If everybody is fucking celebrating, if everybody's throwing the fucking party when the guy is out, that means that you should probably fucking address that because people fucking hate him. They hate him. So why is he there? I mean, I don't get it. It's like they went so far as to make a storyline about it. Embrace the hate. And the thing was, really looking back on it, Embrace the Hate was probably the fucking dumbest storyline I've ever fucking seen. Basically, tease a John Cena heel turn. They got that. Then take a guy like Kane, give him a goofy fucking mask that looks like he has a fucking fruit roll-up plastered on his fucking face. Have him come back and job to Cena. Then get a guy who's super hot, who's getting over big time in Zack Ryder. Get him involved because he's getting more cheers and more of a positive reaction than Zack Ryder. That people rather see those 15-time world titles or how many world titles he had on, under his belt at that time. They rather see those belts on Zack Ryder, for God's sakes. People wanted Zack Ryder. They loved Zack Ryder more than Cena. So they couldn't help themselves. WWE couldn't help themselves. Oh, someone's getting over more than John Cena. Somebody's selling more merchandise than John Cena. Oh, you can't have that because John Cena is so sexy. We don't want to see anybody getting more attention than Big Match John, for God fucking sakes. So what do? They put Zack Ryder in the fucking storyline. It's not bad enough they were already killing one career with Kane, but they also had to kill the career of a guy who was super fucking over. A guy like Zack Ryder, who was super fucking over with the crowd. A guy that got himself over. The guy was wrestling on superstars, for God's sakes. The guy was not getting anywhere. He was jobbing out on superstars. He was not getting anywhere. So what did he do? He used the power of YouTube, the platform that I am currently using, to fucking rant about this fucking shit. What a fucking coincidence. So he gets on YouTube and he starts doing skits, and he's funny and he's entertaining and people are enjoying him. People are fucking whole entire crowds, or 3/4 of the crowd will do for the naysayers, alright, are chanting for Zack Ryder. They wanted Zack Ryder. They love Zack Ryder. That's who they want to see on their TV. They didn't want to see Cena. They said, we want Ryder. We want Ryder. And you know what? Even a small portion of the crowd still wants Zack Ryder, by the way. I'd just like to point that out to you guys. They still want Ryder. And even though I'm not a gigantic Zack Ryder mark, I thought that, it would be kind of, that, Zack Ryder really did deserve what he was getting. The thing is, if fans want to see somebody, if they're cheering for him, and he's over, then you have no choice but to push that guy. I mean, you know how ridiculous it looks? It's kind of like with guys like Cesaro and shit. People want to see them get over. The fact that they're not at a higher point in the company is fucking goddamn ridiculous. So, Zack Ryder gets the U.S. belt finally. They have no choice but to give him a belt. Give him a win because, the whole crowd's cheering for him. So, then they get jealous that a guy like Zack Ryder knows how to get himself over better than the WWE does. No, is actually looking better than John Cena. So what do? Obviously they probably offered him more money to take over his YouTube channel. They take that shit over. They start jobbing him out in the ring. They start having him look like a fucking goof wearing a neck brace, having John Cena make out with his love interest right in front of him, making fucking Ryder look like a sack of shit. I remember they even had a match where John Cena wrestled Zack Ryder and he beat Zack Ryder for like the #1 contendership or some shit. They did everything in their power to make sure the crowd would lose interest in Ryder by making him look pathetic, making him look like a fucking idiot, making him look like a goddamn fucking schmuck. And that's what they did. They made him look like a fucking Mama Luke motherfucker. And surely, surely they got, Ryder off TV. They made him lose his belt. They made him look like a fool. They made him the scapegoat at that year's WrestleMania. And before you knew it, Zack Ryder was back on Superstars. What a fucking load of shit. And John Cena was back to, being world champion. And, everything was right with the world again. Fucking horse fucking shit. The fuck out of here with that fucking bullshit. Zack Ryder, having to deal with that fucking horse shit with John Cena. The fucking point of this rant is this. John Cena destroys lives. And if you think I'm going too overboard by saying that, ask Zack Ryder. What happened to Zack Ryder? Where is he? I don't fucking see him. The last time I saw him, he was jobbing out to somebody, for God fucking sakes. It's completely fucking ridiculous with John Cena. Still at the top. He's the U.S. champion, but he might as well be the world champion. Destroying lives, destroying careers, making people look like shit. Big Match John. Nobody does it like Big Match John. You're right, JBL. Nobody does it like Big Match John. Nobody quite does it like Cena. Nobody has created as much tension, unrest, and hatred as John Cena. So yeah, nobody does it like Big Match John. So fuck Big Match John, fuck everybody who likes him, and fuck all this fucking shit already. This fucking, build a shrine to Cena. That's what it should basically be. Just have the creative and McMahon just take turns giving Cena blowjobs in the middle of the ring for fucking 3 hours. That's basically what Raw is anyway. So why don't you just, go the full length of the fucking field and just fucking do that. Ah!